Hey everybody, Jim Edwards here along with my trusty co-host Stu Smith, and welcome to the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast. This is episode 97 on our countdown to 100, which we won't quit at 100, but we figured what the hey, we're counting down to 100. Actually, we're counting down to infinity, but nobody really cares about that.
Hey, you know what comes after 100?
101.
Yes. We're going to keep on rolling.
There you go. So today we are talking about something, and rather than quoting Stu, see what I did there? I will let Stu tell you himself what we're going to talk about on the podcast today.
Yes. I think the topic of the week has been creating authentic content. How do you do that? And so I want to show you guys how to use the quote wizard that's in the Jim Edwards method to write authentic content.
Sweet.
And, it has really been fun. And what I want you to do is even go into the quote wizard today, if you can, and think about a saying that you personally use yourself all the time.
Okay.
Do you have one, Jim?
Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk for a second about why you want to use quotes to create content. And before we even do that, let's talk about how people use quotes, not incorrectly, but in a way that doesn't add or build value. So what most people do when they think about content marketing, and again, this is sales copywriting, content marketing hacks. What most people do when they think about creating content with a quote is they go on Google and they do a quote for like quote by Mortimer Snerd. Okay, Mortimer says, always take great reading material with you to the bathroom. So now when I got that 501 speeches book that you told me about, and it's good.
It is good.
I'm also seeing formulas in there that I may come out with like a 501 plug and play speeches, and you just fill in the stuff and we'll have wizards so you can hack the speeches, since most of them are not copyrighted. But I digress. So the thing is, what most people do is they go find a quote and they go find a picture and they slap it together and they put it up on social media and they're like, hey, look at me. I'm great. I'm excited.
I'm amazing. I did something. Now, why am I not a millionaire yet?
It's like, okay, Chuckles. It's kind of like you found a quote and you found a picture and you put them together. Good for you. But what you can do to take quotes, and there are unlimited quotes out there. So you could literally run your entire business around this if you wanted to, is to take a quote, take a specific group of people and explain to them how that quote is significant to them and how they might use that thought to get more of the results that they want out of their life, their business, their spirituality, their economics, whatever that topic is. Now you have created something amazing for people, and you have also elevated yourself to the same level as the person you are quoting, because you're analyzing their quote and telling people what the quote means to them. So you may not be on the same level, but you are certainly elevating yourself above the chucklehead that just makes a quote card about something that they didn't even say themselves. So that's kind of setting the stage for what my excited friend wants to show you and talk to you about. And Stu, do you have anything to add to what I just said before we keep going?
No. Other than, whenever you are looking for a quote or you love a quote and you want to explain it to people that are in your market, right? There are people that you are influencing or whatever, doing business with. You can really make it apply to whatever you are doing by using the quote wizard methodology, right? It really works. And I think I did 3 this week.
Oh, wow.
And 2 of them were my own quotes that I made up.
You're binge quoting.
Right. And then the other one was something that I heard a long time ago and I just love. It's just one of those things that and I use these quotes so often that that I just thought it was a good piece of content to write an article explaining why these quotes mean so much.
Sure. Do you want to share your screen and show everybody where you posted and what happened, and then let's show them in the wizards what you
Sure. Yeah, I'll show the 3 articles where they are.
Okay.
Because I did something that people might find not sure how you would say this. But anyway, I used a quote wizard and I sold the article to military.com.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes.
So you're using my wizards to make money for yourself?
I am.
Nice work.
So, yeah.
Where's
so
my cut?
it's a pretty good one. And I quoted myself. So it was pretty funny how I turned that into an article. So yes, I can do that. Are you ready to
yeah, you got to show you got to try and share your screen, and then I have to allow it because I am the all
controlling wizard of today's presentation.
Got it. Where are you?
You have to click share your screen. No. You still there? Oh my God. He left. He cut himself off. Lordy. I'll wait for him to rejoin us. While we're waiting for Stu to come back because he cut himself off, I will show you where the quote wizard is on the Jim Edwards Method Premium. And oh, here he is.
Hey, that was
He came
fun.
back.
Hey,
yeah,
that
nice
was fun.
work.
I was clicking too much. I just clicked right out of StreamYard.
Were you ever in charge of nuclear weapons?
No.
Okay.
I have a hard time with this one, Jim.
So down at the bottom, it says share screen, dude.
I'm sharing screen right now. And I share.
Now you are.
Yes.
So I'm going to add this to StreamYard, and now we see the infinite loop of Jim and Stu.
Yes.
There you go. Okay, cool. All right. Take it away. Somebody said I scared you. I don't think so.
Yeah, that was funny. So sorry about that. But anyway, this is a great quote that I don't know who said it. I just left it kind of anonymous. But exceeding the standard is the standard. And I've got so many rules that I have when people ask me, hey, Stu, what's the minimum standard to become a Navy SEAL? I'm like, first of all, don't ask me what the minimum standards are because I do not know them. Right. There are no minimums. Right. You got to max these things out. So that is part of my coaching charm, I call it. So anyway, I just wrote an article about it, and I just plugged everything right into the wizard, and it comes.
But you basically you quoted yourself.
Yes,
is the gist of what you're saying. You used a quote that you came up with, or that you
actually
heard
I
and can't even remember.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't remember who did this, but I was like, you know, this is basic, and this is right out of the wizard. Said how to crush the PT test and get through basic training, boot camp, police, fire academies, or spec ops selections without even thinking about quitting. Right. So this is that was one of the titles that it popped out for me as well. And this is.
What kind of a reaction did you get from people on that?
I just started sharing it. And by the way, this was from the other day, like a little mini bio. And I think you said this in a recent show. I'm the former Navy SEAL that special ops candidates go to for books, ebooks, online coaching, prepare themselves to get to and through intense tactical assessments and selection programs and qualify for service in their chosen tactical profession.
Wow, that sounds like the one sentence persuasion wizard from
exactly
the Jim Method Premium.
That's exactly what it was. That's a really long sentence, but it is, but it works anyway. So that's how I did like my little mini bio there.
Very nice, man.
Using that. So that is what that is. Let me see if I have another one pulled up here before, so make sure I don't. This is my best one ever. And You never think about quitting when you think about winning.
Did you come up with that one?
I did.
Okay, cool. That's
I
a
did.
great. It's actually a great quote. It should be on a T-shirt.
Yeah. And so I actually quoted myself once again, and just walk people through this whole mindset, because it really is a mindset. When you're talking about a program that has a 75%, 80% attrition rate, in every class, if you're not in the top 10, 20%, just statistics tell you that, you're probably not going to last very long in that program. So it does behoove you to think about winning, at least being in the top 10% if you can.
Well, but that's true. If you're focused on accomplishing the mission, you're not thinking about quitting the mission. If you're focused on winning the competition, there's no headspace for thinking about quitting.
Yep. And there's just this little section in the wizard that just pops out these really, well, you have to put them in there, but it helps you formulate the bullets that go in here. And each one of these bullets, I also have an article written about them. And so there's a bunch of links in here for people to kind of go. So it's almost like a one-stop shop for, people trying to learn what the competitive mindset really is.
Very cool.
Right. And let me just share one more with you.
Oh, excuse me. Someone's been being very busy.
I have been. So this is one of my favorites too. And I have made t-shirts out of this one. And this one went to military.com on Friday. It was a Friday Focus article, Train to Compete, Not Just Survive. And this was my first one that I did with the wizard. And just explains, here's a concept I developed one day. And I think we talked about it.
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, recently. Just how I realized I was in survival mode, not compete mode. And it just stuck with me. And, I took that into training and in preparation. And it's kind of my story. And then I realized that this little train to compete, not just survive, I had to explain it using those other quotes, like exceeding the standard is the standard. You never think about quitting when you think about winning. They all kind of go together. And so then I was like, I'm going to explain all of them. I'm just going to do more quote wizard stuff. And so I came up with 2 more quote wizards using these 2 quotes, and put them on my website versus putting them on military.com. But different articles altogether. And
sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a few more. I'm going to do one called you have to talk to yourself, stop listening to yourself.
Yeah. I like that one. I do that. I learned that principle from you, and I practice that a lot more than I use that a lot, whether it's in business or physical or whatever. I pay attention to what my mind is saying to me, and that's usually not the most productive stuff. Like, why are we doing this? Can we quit? It's cold. I'm tired. My foot hurts. My knee hurts. My butt hurts. My arms hurt. It's cold. No one else is out here doing this. Why are we out here? And then you have to overwrite that talk with intentional self-talk.
Yes.
Here's why we're doing this. This is what we're doing. This is what happens next. When we're done, we can take a shower. When we're done, we can have some breakfast. If we do this in this time, then you don't have to do this. But if you do, like adding extra stuff, like okay, 1.5 mile time run, got to get this done in under 12 minutes, no matter how tired you are. And if you do, then we can truly be done. But if you don't, then you have to, I don't know,
do another
something else.
Quarter mile. Yeah.
Right. It sucks. So anyway, let's talk for one quick second, just to remind everybody before we go in and look at the quote wizard. And then I'm going to show you guys how we use it. But I want you guys to understand something. When you're doing this, if you truly want to bust a move, there's 3 parts to this thing. All right. there's the quote, there's your purpose or the topic or the reason for sharing the quote, the big idea. You know, it's what does this quote mean to your specific target audience? So you got the quote, the quote's the easy part. Then you gotta, basically what you gotta do to hit the sweet spot is to tell your target audience why this is important and how this is going to help them and why they should pay attention. Would you agree, Stu?
Absolutely.
That's where the value comes from. Otherwise, you're just some chucklehead making quote cards thinking that you're doing something and wondering why you're not a millionaire yet. And as we all know,
Mr. Pickles does not approve of this behavior. So, all right. Now we're going to share a different screen. Are you doing homework still?
No, I'm writing notes.
Oh, okay. All right.
So here we are over inside of Easy Online Wizards, and what we want to do is go mess with the quote wizard. So that's going to be under content creation, and it is quote excerpt wizard.
If you want the easy button, go to that little search button up there and put quote. And it will open it up for you.
Is that what you do?
I say every time. I'm like,
okay,
wizard.
So you can watch the little 6-minute and 34-second video. Will explain how to do it, and then this is, I mean, you just go through it. Now we actually have time to do one of these if somebody wants to share a quote with us. So share in the comments, share a quote, and we will. Somebody said Mr. Pickles for president. So.
I will not accept, nor will I seek, the nomination of my party for another 4 years as your pickle.
You still there, Stu?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm reading comments.
I know. I'm looking for a quote. We need a quote to like do this. Somebody needs to put a quote in the quote thing. Or you got one, Stu?
I'm doing two more this week.
Oh, less is more. That's good. Jorge says less is more. That's good. Okay.
I like that one.
Nah, it's too okay. So my target audience is an entrepreneur. Watch this. My ideal customers is ad writing and sales copywriting. My ideal customer really wants to know how to make more sales online for your products and services. Big pain I'm going to show them how to avoid with this quote. I'm going to show you how to get that payoff without spending all your time and money on content or on ad creation. All right, so the quote I want to talk about, what is the quote? The quote is less is more. This quote is by unknown. I mean, if you're ever not sure, put in who said less is more. And Lugwood, okay, less is referred to less as a phrase adopted in 1947.
Wow.
Okay, but it's an old architectural phrase, but this guy don't get credit for it. It's unknown. So,
I use it quite often for recovery.
Architectural.
A lot of people don't realize that when it comes to training, sometimes less is more.
Yes, I agree. Sometimes I have my best run times if I don't run for a few days.
That's a way to do it.
All right, so this person is relevant to my target audience because it's really NA, because there you go. All right. The big idea behind this quote, as far as my target audience is concerned, when it comes to ad writing and stuff, the big idea behind this quote is most people try to sell in their ads. This makes their ads extra long and less effective. Why? Because the purpose of an ad is not to sell unless it's a direct response ad with a coupon or with a coupon they fill out with payment info. The purpose of an ad is to move people on to the next step in your sales process. If I could spell, that'd be great. All right. So how does this quote apply to you? Here's how this quote applies to you. Don't waste your time creating ads that sell. Create ads that get the user to click, call, or come into your to your store. That's all they can do. They can't buy from the ad. So use the ad to build curiosity and pressure. I'll go back. And pressure to act rather than making a buying decision right there on the spot. Okay.
Nice.
So as a result of the discussion, my ideal customer should, and this will create a numbered list. So first, take a look at your ads and see if you are selling. If you are, stop. Do ask yourself, does this ad create curiosity or pressure to go to the next step in my sales process? What would be one other thing? Take consideration if you are stop. Focus your attention on the quality of your hook headline, because that's where 80% of your ad success comes from. And the last one is write your ads with a less is more strategy of keeping your language simple, short, and easy to understand, especially when people are busy, which they are. Okay, that's close enough. I mean, I'm not trying to win a Pulitzer here. All right, so what would I like people to do next? Well, I'd like you to grab a free copy of my book, Copywriting Secrets, and go to copywritingsecrets.com. Now, I don't know how long that took, but I don't think it was more than 9 or 10 minutes.
Oh, not even.
Okay, so then we click build, and this is going to write the article for us. Plus, it writes some hooks that you can use. So less is more. Unknown. This quote or excerpt is by an unknown expert and comes from an unknown source, but originates from architectural training from the 19th or 20th century. Okay. The big idea here is Most people try to sell in their ads. This makes their ads extra long and less effective. Why? Because the purpose of an ad is not to sell unless it's a direct response ad with a coupon they fill out with payment information. The purpose of an ad is to move people on to the next step in your sales process and with the least resistance possible. Should probably save this. All right. Click build again because I changed something. And there you go. Purpose of an ad is to move people along the next step in your sales process with the least resistance possible. Here's how this applies to us and ad writing and sales copy. Don't waste your time creating ads that sell. Create ads that get users to click, call, or come into your store. That's all they can do. They can't buy from the ad. So use the ad to build curiosity and pressure to act rather than making a buying decision right there on the spot. I would change that a little bit. Like, rather than trying to, then forcing them to, okay, I'm going to change it anyway. Rather than forcing them to make a buying decision right there on the spot. Okay. So let's put this into action. Take a look at your ads and see if you're selling. If you are, stop. Ask yourself, does this ad create curiosity or pressure to go on to the next step in my sales process? And what I should say on there is, in the sales process, if yes, that's great. Keep testing your ads. All right. So we click build. Ask yourself, does this ad create curiosity or pressure to go on to the next step in my sales process? If yes, that's great. Keep testing your ads. Focus your attention on the quality of your hook headline because that's where 80% of your ad success comes from. Write your ads with the less is more strategy of keeping your language simple, short, and easy to understand, especially when people are busy, which they are. Oh, and before I forget, if you're an entrepreneur who wants to know how to put this whole process on steroids, let me invite you to grab a free copy of my book, Copywriting Secrets, at copywritingsecrets.com. This makes it easier for you to write more or for you to make more sales online for your products and services without spending all your time and money on ad creation. Dude, that don't suck at all. And that was like 15 minutes. We created that.
That was good.
Now, you guys in the comments, you let us know, was this any good or not? And while you're doing that, because we're going to use this. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to write this and not give it to Nancy to distribute, but here are some hooks for this quote, for this post. This is stuff you could use in Twitter. You could use it on Facebook and any social media to then drive people to your websites if you wanted to. How to make more sales online for your products and service without spending all your time on money on ad creation. Here's an ad writing and sales copywriting secret to avoid spending all your time and money on ad creation. Here's a secret to make more sales online for your products and services that so-and-so wanted every entrepreneur to know. So that's, some of those aren't going to work because we don't have a person in there. But here's something else that this does for you. It's pretty cool. You can download this as a docx file. And so you could, if you really wanted to, you could go find 100 quotes. You could do this 100 times, and you could literally write a book with this thing. That'd be one way you could do this. You think about it. Here's a page in your book. All right, you would take this part out, but there you go. Or let's say you wanted to do this like I would most likely want to do this as a maybe as part of a webinar or as part of, as just a Facebook Live or as a something. Here's the whole thing as a PowerPoint slide deck. Just puts it all in, and you would just need to format this a little bit. But here it is as a PowerPoint slide deck. One of the things that I would do, especially with this Word doc, watch this. You know what I'm getting ready to do, Stu. I'm going to show y'all how I would do this. I'm printing that off, and there's, I wouldn't remember what to say, Jim. Hang on.
Let's read it.
Okay. So here we have a selfie stick, which can double as an improvised weapon if you're at a protest or something. Here's my phone, which is my mobile movie studio. So I secure this on said stick. If you do use this to attack somebody, don't hit them with the phone end. Now, here's my thing that I just printed out, right? So it's got all my talking points on it. Watch this. I'm going to take a piece of this thing. You may have heard of it. It's called cellophane tape. I'm going to tape this right here. And now I can have my notes right here and talk right into the camera. And that's how I could deliver this as a Facebook Live and keep myself on track. Oh, sneaky, huh? So that's what you can do. And use quotes all day long. You could, wow. The biggest thing is if you wanted to, you could do a quote every day, and you could do a quote every day for the rest of your life, and you would never even scratch the surface of all the potential quotes there are in the world. Oh, you could do. You could do Jim's quote of the day. Well, I wouldn't do Jim's quote of the day. Well, you can. Please send them to copywritingsecrets.com. And but like one of the things that I could do is I could go out, search all the copywriters, all the famous copywriters, grab a quote from each one, and I could do Jim's famous copywriter quotes of the day. And then I share the quote, and then I tell them what it means and how they could do it. And then I end with a pitch to come to the Jim Edwards Method Premium or to come and check out my book or what have you. So that's a pretty cool little simple business model that everybody could follow if you're looking for a way to do daily content.
Yeah. And it's really easy. It's fun. I've been having fun with it. And you know where I'm using it the most is when people ask me a question and my answer is the same answer. Right. So, you know, like when somebody says, "Hey, what can I do to be a better runner?" Right. And I usually start it off with, "Well, that depends." Right. So, and that's it. That's the quote. It depends, right? And explain why it depends, you know, in the bullets, right? It depends, you know, if you're running for a marathon, if you're running a sprint, if you're running for a timed run, it depends. Are you a beginner runner? Are you just, you know, susceptible to shin splints? You know, all of those things depend on my answer.
Right.
Right. So ask a better question. I probably won't have to say it depends, but that's part of my training to people is ask better questions. I don't have to say it depends to them. But, you know, there's another one too, you know, for swimming, you know, if you ever watch any of my swim videos, I say, here's the sequence to the stroke: pull, breathe, kick, glide for 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, start the next stroke, right? So pull, breathe, kick, glide is a quote that I'm going to explain using the quote wizard. Why that matters, right? So it's just great content of stuff that now when somebody says, "Hey, how do I do this swim stroke?" Bloop, just send them right to that article that also has, here, you can buy this book, this book, this book, also has swimming workouts in them to help you along your way. So, there you go. It's great.
Well, there you go.
Love it. Love it.
So awesome. Well, that pretty much does it for this episode of the Sales Copywriting Content Marketing Hacks podcast. If you don't have a copy of my book, Copywriting Secrets, I'd love to send you one. I have some left in boxes in the warehouse. I have no idea how many we have left, so you can grab yours while supplies last. Go to copywritingsecrets.com, literally for like $9 shipping and handling. I'll send you the book and you can get other goodies as well. And Stu, if people want to get in amazing shape, whether they want to go become a Navy SEAL or they just don't want to be fat and 40, but fabulous and 40, or fab and 50 as we are now. What is the 50 thing? Is it fab and 50, or you never would be fab?
I'm not on that level.
Fit and 50?
Yeah. Okay. Fit after 50.
Fit after 50?
I will say this, yeah, StuSmithFitness.com, and you will also see an article section that is my blog there, where you can see how I test out a lot of these wizards. And my last two, the top two that would be on the, StuSmith.com blog section or article section, are two wizards that I just showed you with quotes.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, and they're really good. And it's not just because I made the wizard that Stu used. So Linda says, I have the book and love it. One of the best with explanations and more. Thanks. Well, thank you, Linda. And I do have to say, when I met Stu, I wasn't in great shape. I was in better shape than I had been before, but Stu really did help me to get into amazing shape. So you don't have to, or what I would consider amazing shape, relatively speaking, to the fat, slovenly thing I was there for a while. But if you want to learn how to get into better shape, Stu really can help you. You don't have to want to be a cop or a SWAT team guy or a Green Beret or a SEAL. Stu can help you avoid injury and develop a specific workout plan that will get you the results you want no matter where you are. So check it out.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm just going through the top 10 of, the last 10 articles that I wrote on my StuSmithFitness.com blog. And 4 of them were done by wizards.
Wow. That kind of sucks, Stu. Only 4? Just kidding. Great job. That's awesome. All right. Well, I will talk to you guys soon, Stu. Thanks again. And we will, for those of you who are watching us live, we're going to take next week off, but then we will see you the following week. Thanks a lot, everybody.